All right, I ran some tests and landed on max sample of 100 because I'm eventually denoising the image and it doesn't matter the quality. So that's the max sample I choose. You can go higher. And also the light pad, I use this presets right here and go full global illumination. And also I animated the empty right here. Let me show you. There's nothing special. We are in this area until we reach frame 150. Then I slowly look at here, the y-axis. Slowly go to here and Shift D, keep this until the end. What happened is we are focusing on these strawberries right here, and when our hero comes up, they're going to be in a flu area or a bouquet. So we are focusing on our hero right now. So our hero needs to be in this area. All right. So let's go and animate the hero. Where's our hero? Here. Strawberry right there. Where are you? Here. Right. There's something right here. We have to solve it before continue because our hero is so heavy. If I try to move it up, it's so heavy because we have this, let me isolate, because we have this hair or fur, to be exact, is still alive. So we have all the modifiers still alive right there. So before do anything, let's go ahead. First of all, check this in the render. So we can't exactly see what's happening with the hair. So let's go ahead and maybe make the density a little bit higher, maybe 800 to have more hair. And factor, distance, and shape. Let's go 4 for this factor, of 5. All right, now let's see that. I think that's enough. That's more than enough. So let's go ahead and apply one by one these modifiers. I'm selecting the curve inside the strawberry. Remember, we actually made that in a single object. So, and now it's light. Back to the scene. All right, side view then. Let's go and move the strawberry inside the focus area. Let's check that with the camera. All right, it's too small. So let's move it closer to the camera. Maybe around here. Let's see. I wanted to convert this shot to the label and write strawberry milkshake right here and do the label or make the label live in front of audience. So let's see how big it needs to be. Maybe this big. So our focus area is too far back. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this 164 frame here. 163, yeah. Let's go and move it closer to the camera. Right click and replace single keyframe. Let's go delete this key. Grab this key and Shift D, go all the way back. So now we move in the new position. So we're gonna go up with the hero at frame 1, 6, 3. So let's go ahead, grab the strawberry, and in the Z-axis, right-click, single keyframe. Now let's go down. Doesn't matter how much. Right, and let's go to frame 0. I'm starting in frame 16. I was testing the render. So let's go start 0. Right click, single keyframe. So here. Oh, you have to go down. Right there. Right click, single keyframe. And this is the... Yeah, let's just start here. Taking too long. So let's see that in the render view. So it goes up and suddenly the focus shifts to the hero, right about here. It can go up, then focus shifts. So maybe it's not a bad idea to go a couple of frames back with the strawberry hero. Goes right here. Yeah. At first, the focus it's not on the hero. The background can be a little bit too flu or too out of focus. So maybe it's not a bad idea to go back to the camera setting, and maybe increase this f-stop to 0. maybe 6 or so. Of course, I'm gonna render all of these in a separate plate. So one without strawberry. How? Simply disable the strawberry from render and viewport if you want. Then run this render right here. All right, this is 13 seconds. Render more if you want to have a little bit more wiggle room. Then go ahead and simply, I believe this is better, to go to the plane, the emitter, and disable this from rendering and also viewport if you want. And this is the second plate. I can render that starting from here before entering the frame. So that's the render. Go as much as you want. Then we're gonna render the simulation. So for now, everything seems to be in order. You have 2 plates right here, and it's working. Another thing is to go ahead and add a little bit variation to the animation. It's going up a little bit too dull. So maybe a little bit rotation, a little bit maybe elastic. Let's go enter the frame here. Let me go a bit higher. So here, so replace the key. Oh, before that, I might forget this key position, this position of the strawberry. So first of all, Shift D, not the actual strawberry, just the key. Duplicate, let's go right here. And this key selected, just go up, enter with some anticipation. Right there, then goes back. So maybe this much. Open up your graph editor and let's go grab this key and hit T. Let's go maybe elastic to have a little bit bounciness right there. Let's check the bounciness. Not bad actually. It's looking a bit cartoonish. Maybe if I grab this and go maybe 200, have a little bit more room for elastic to happen. Oh, that's too much. That is too much. Maybe 180. That is too much still. Let me see if it's denoising or not. Make it a little bit too bouncy looking, of course. Go to the F curve right here. If you don't see that, simply hit N. So let's see value. All right, this is nice. 0.8 and maybe 4 for the period. All right, nice. And now a little bit of rotation would be nice. Let's go out of frame. The camera is in here. So let me grab a collection. Let's call it camera and lights. All right, now we see everything. So out of frame to the frame. So let's go grab this out of frame right here. So that's gonna be our Z rotation. Let's grab that in 140. Z rotation, add a single key. Let's go all the way to maybe, yeah, let's go at the end. And maybe 360. Let's see. Back to the camera view. And it's rotating. All right. To the curve editor right here, Z Euler, and let's go add a modifier of noise. So not this much. Let's go scale bigger. Strength maybe a little bit less. Let's see the result. Not bad. And let's go with with this one, the Z location. So from frame 173, even go all the way up. Let's add another noise right here, right? Then restrict it to frame range. Let's go start from maybe 170 to end 340. And scale it up. So I need a little bit of wiggle. Obviously, this is too much. So let's go drop the strength. Nice. Maybe even after dropping right here, after elastic. So 166 start. And I'm gonna stop it at the right frame and the right profile of a leaf, or find a better silhouette, basically. Maybe something like this. Let me check that in the render. Yeah, that's looking good for the actual label. So this is our hero. It's going to be big on the label. And yeah, that seems to be good. Let's see everything all together. And first of all, save. Is there everything? Let's go to the plane. Yeah. Going up and floating, floating, floating. And hero comes out, rotates, and a little bit of show off. It's good. You can also render everything together. This is up to you. I'm gonna render it separately in separate plates. Alright, so I'm gonna save this project and start another one. Not another one, right here. I'm gonna hide everything. With the rough liquid simulation, we need a hard shape simulation right here. I'm gonna render half, so make a half, render that twice with a little bit of seed change, and mirror that in the edit. Yeah, why not? So to make the fluid simulation, first of all, we need another collection. Let's call it fluid sim, right? Inside here, I'm gonna keep this hero right here to have a little bit of guide. So we're gonna make a fluid on path. So obviously we need a path. To make the path, let's start with obvious choice, and that would be our little friend here, the Bezier curve. It's gonna make it down there where the 3D cursor is. It doesn't matter because I know it's selected right here. So let's go ahead, enter edit mode and select every vertex, and let's go delete vertices. That's that. Inside edit mode of the Bezier curve, let's go ahead and enter the draw or select the draw tool. So I'm gonna start from back there. All right. So let's say hide the starting point behind our hero and make a heart-shaped thingy right there. Not the prettiest thing, so let me start again. That's good. If I make another one right here. Too wide, but we need a little bit of a room to actually be able to rotate this and make it on the, or keep it on the path actually. So we're gonna go a little bit out of frame because we don't want it to see the ending just here. This is all our main simulation happening right here at this curve. Basically, we can go ahead and shrink it down because I'm gonna render it. You also do that, render this in PNG because we don't have any background obviously, and because of that we can shrink this, scale it down, up, and do with it whatever you want. So this is good. Let's go ahead and enter the tool property right here, data of the curve. Let's go to the geometry and add a little bit of depth. This much is enough, I believe. This is your simulation happening. It's going to be this thick. All right. Let's go ahead and wire enable right there. Resolution, let's go down to 1. All right. Up here, this resolution, let's go down, 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 down right there. That is good. All right. Let me see that in front of you. Everything is a bit big because I made it too far back. All right, so scale it down. Let's scale it down again. Let me check that right here. And maybe, oh, the proportionality is enabled. Disable that. Let's go to the front view, to the render view, camera view. Maybe here. All right, let's go front view. And this is going too much to the left. Let's go kinda in the middle, right here. Let's grab this, V and automatic. Let's grab this, hit V, automatic. G and go maybe over here. V, automatic. G, move it up, kinda like that. G, go here. Hit A and move everything a bit down. Now let's go for the resolution. All right, 3 seems to be good. And I only need this edges right here along the line, a path. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seems to be good. There's one thing I have to change right here, and that's the rolling. Is this starting from middle? No, let me go right here, make a room for the other one to go right beside it. And let's see the starting point. It's right there. It's good. Don't touch it. So that's gonna be a little bit of tilt. So I'm gonna tilt it because I want the liquid simulation to actually kind of wrap around as it's find a way on the path. So grab one right here and tilt it. Let me see that from this angle, maybe even with this 5 frame. Yeah. So kind of like this. And like that. And again like this. That would be enough. Yeah, right. So there's no cap at the end and start. The next thing is to convert this to mesh temporarily. Or let me go back and see if I can actually scale this radius. Let's go a little bit more radius right about here. See that in the render view? Yeah, a little bit more radius up there, less down here, and less down here. Yep, that's more believable as heart shape. Right, enough. Back to object mode, right click and convert it to mesh. Now if I go ahead and start editing, this is a mesh. All right, so let's go edit mode and edge mode and shift left click all of this. Also these two ends. Delete edges. And now we're left with this edges right here. Right? Let's go and add a subdivision right there. That's enough, I believe. You can go higher. It's not necessary. If it's not enough, we can always go back and add more. So apply this and right click, convert it back to the curve. So now it's curve. If I go back to here to the curve setting and add a profile, you see we have this thing. This is actually a good way to make a rope, kind of tangly rope. We don't do that here. I'm gonna start from top, the liquid seam I mean. So to do that, first of all, let me go ahead, grab all of these vertices right here and move the cursor to selection, right? We need something to actually make this simulation, make the fluid, the emitter, basically. So to do that, I'm gonna use a UV sphere. Why not? Let's go 16 and make it smaller right there. All right. That's going to be our emitter. So let's go ahead and make it a fluid, and let's go flow and liquid. All right. That is for now. Let's leave it there. We need a domain. So to make the domain, let's go ahead and make a cube. Make it as big as it needs to cover everything. Like this. Right? Apply the scale. Go to Physics tab and fluid. Let's go domain, change the type to liquid. Right? Let's go ahead, make it wire to be able to see the inside. All right. Another one is a force. So we need a force to actually push the liquid along the curve. So grab your curve, go to the Physics tab, and let's go field force. Change the type to curve. Let's go -24 now for the strength. And for the flow, let's go 1. And a little bit of randomness, so make it 10. And let's see the result, basically. So I'm gonna save this one. Let's go fluid sim. Right? Grab the domain. Let's change some of these names. So domain, that's our flow object, and this is our path. Right? So grab the domain. Let's see, 32 might be a little bit too low. Scroll all the way to the start, and yeah, it's too low. Yeah, why? So make it 64 for the resolution. All right. Why this happening? The flow is too, or the liquid is too small, not enough liquid, because the flow source is the mesh. Now, here, the flow behavior is geometry, so it's shooting enough fluid as this mass of the geometry is. So it's actually shooting this much mass along the surface, and it's doing a good job. You see, this is same mass as geometry. Change that to inflow, and this is the result. All right. We need to work that a little bit. So first thing, we don't need this much flow. So it's gonna be enough, maybe right about here. All right, so let's go 20 frames. Here in 20 frames, let's go ahead and uncheck this use flow, right click, add a keyframe. All right, and one frame back, 19, check it and insert keyframe. So it's gonna make this much flow, then stop flowing like that. So produce this much flow, then it stops. All right, that's one thing. It might be changed based on the thickness of flow and some other things later. But for now, you see, this is our flow. We need some sub-steps. And first of all, let me go and make some emission surface, maybe 5. And see the change. Wow, too much, obviously. Let's go 1. Wow, still too much. Oh, I did 10. Not bad, actually. It's not bad. Let me go sub-step a little bit because I need more processing to happen. So let's go 3, maybe. All right, not much difference. Back to domain. Let's change some of these options right about here. So first of all, time scale. I'm going to give it enough time to process well. Also, I don't need 1. This is too fast. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's go drop it to half of this time. Give it a little bit time to process, obviously. And when you give it a time, it's actually processing a little bit more care. So it might follow each line after that. Alrighty, so nothing. Let's go keep it on flip, and I believe, let me hover over it. Flip is more splashy behavior. Yeah, so here let me go sampling of 5, little bit more particle, basically. A particle radius, let's leave it there, and particle maximum, let's give it a little bit more particle, maximum of 32, minimum of 618, and narrow bandwidth. So it says particle narrow, higher value result, thicker band, and more particle. For now, let me go ahead and make it 5. All right. I need the diffusion, and I want to use a preset of I don't know, maybe let's see, water, no, oil, no, honey. Yeah, let's keep it at honey, and also fractional. Enable that. Save. It might crash. And let's check it out. So, seems we need a little bit more flow. So let me grab this and these two keyframes for the use flow right here and maybe going right there. Maybe 35. All right, so let's go ahead and make the resolution of the simulation. Maybe 128. And also let's open up the bottom of the domain. So when simulation comes to the bottom, it kills the particles. Otherwise, it's going to collect the liquid at the bottom and possibly goes up. And because we're using the path, it's gonna go up in the path. So that's not pretty. And what else? Let's go ahead and find a folder for cache. So that's gonna be a folder, and change the type to modular. So we'll be able to bake mesh and particles separately. Also change it to resumable. We might change our mind and wanna extend the simulation. This way you can continue the simulation after it's finished. All right, and 180, let's do 120. All right, volumetric data, unicache, good. In the mesh section, default is 2, let's skip it at 3. The resolution, upper factor, and speed vector. This is important. Check this if you want any motion blur. Alrighty, and that's it. Let's go back to the path, the curve, and here let's increase the flow to 3. All right. And by increasing the flow, you're actually slowing the flow. Keep that in mind. And let's go flow object. You go to the front view, make it a bit smaller. So S, maybe here, and apply the scale right there. So back to domain though. Let me check. Maybe even go times scale 0.3. Give them more time. All right, radius, and everything looks good. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and bake the data right here. Before that, let me save the project and bake the particle alone. All right, let's check it out. You see, by changing the flow right here, where is it? Here, path. The flow factor, we're actually following each line perfectly. And it wasn't enough time for the simulation to finish. So I'm gonna give it another maybe up to 180. So let's go change the end and give it another 60. So 180. And if you go back up right here, then you making the cache for the particle, you see another button called resume. So let's resume that. Done. And let's check it. I believe it's kind of wanted to go to 300. And another thing, now it's stopping too soon. Maybe around 140 or 130. So it's back to the flow. Right. And let's move all of these to maybe 100. So let me go back and decrease the particle resolution. So let's go 60 and quickly bake another particle. Let's see the result. Yeah, good. But as you can see, particles actually going back to the start because of the flow. So let me quickly back to 2. Oh, we were at 1 previously. So 2 is the new flow then. Free data and bake another one. Yep, looking good. And I believe 300 is the number for the ending. So let's go 300. And one more thing. We need 2 of these. So I don't want both of them to go and finish at the same spot. So let me try something. Grab the pad and go grab the bottom. And proportional editing, let's go a little bit like this, or maybe in front. And as I mentioned before, I wanna make the other one mirrored of this one. So I'm gonna do this one like that, render it out, and the next one with a little bit of maybe seed and some changes, and push it back a bit. So let's go see if this one works. Yeah, it's working kinda. Going a little bit towards the front. All right, so that's good. Maybe even enough particle, maybe. If it's not enough, I'm gonna go ahead and make more. Change this back to 128. All right, now go to the mesh section right here. And after saving your project, let's go bake the actual mesh. All right, we have the mesh right here. And the only problem I have with it, it's The fact that a little bit so thick, not even a little bit. So let me check that with the solid view. It's too thick. First of all, right click and shade smooth over the domain. So maybe it's because I'm using less particles, or let me see, wire. Or even we can go ahead and make some of these parts, its choke points a little bit tighter. So let me go front view and maybe go here, maybe here, and it's proportional editing enabled. Let's go hit S. A bit tighter at the end. Also, let's go ahead and free data. And remember one thing. Each time you're freeing up your data, it's gonna delete all of this cache. So if you like what you see right here and you wanted to have another version, simply change the folder to another folder. So this one is hard fluid thingy. So let's go and maybe, and this is the data. So config data and mesh. Mesh being this mesh being and baked right here. So you can go ahead and change this folder. Where is it? Here, hard. Let's make two folders. So one being left side, another being right side. And this one is right side. I'm gonna delete all of these later. So this is our new cache folder right there. And let's go 100 and bake again. So it's still a little bit too thick. And also this bottom check seems not be working. So I'm gonna go ahead and extend the bottom of the domain a bit. So go to edit mode, grab, going down, and same thing with the path, grab it, and simply drag it down, give it more room. All right, and another thing, maybe even move this with proportional editing, of course. And maybe even scale it. And let's go right here to the narrow bandwidth. And let's go make it default. So hover over it and backspace. This is gonna make the mesh a little bit thicker. So let's go back to the default right there. And I'm gonna go back to this 60 or 64 and run another test. And run another test right here. All right. Maybe now we can go back to the pad and make this tree, the flow. maybe. Right, so let's bake the mesh as well. Let's use 128 again. Hope this is the last test. Article looking good. And so let's do the mesh. I'm going to save the project. Right, let's see. Looking good. We can have a little bit more quality. So here upper factor is 3. I might go for the 4 or 5 if my PC can handle it. But let's see what this look like in solid mode. Not a fan of this particles right here. So let's talk about the obvious right here. I'm going to change this and come back to you with new settings, but the overall settings is the same. I might change the diffusion to something else, let's say water, and also increase the upper factor for mesh, and that's it. I believe there's nothing else to change. Yeah, nothing. So that's that. So let's talk material. It's not something different there and then we did before. So let's do the milkshake maybe. So that's our either milk or the strawberry. So if it's strawberry, let's go down right there. And because of the light behind it, and if I can find it right here, this light, after rendering the particles, I'm gonna move this light closer to the milkshake heart shape right here. Also, we're starting making this from frame 1 or frame 0. Because of that, we don't have this focus point. So if you let me find the empty, push it into camera. So this empty comes to action right here. All right. So when the time comes to render this one, I'm gonna move this empty right here on frame 0 without any keyframe. So I'm gonna render the background, the where's it, the particle system right here separately with the background right there. All right, and then I'm gonna render the hero alone. After that, I'm gonna move this empty right here to the same area as you see it, because we have the focus right there, and lock it to frame 0 and render the strawberry. Then change the material, render one more for the milk. In the editor, in the sequence editor, I'm gonna flip one to the other side so we get the heart shape. All right, so let's move this light back. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl Z until we get back to the here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change some setting to this heart shape, half a heart, to the fluid sim, and also render everything. Let me talk about rendering. Like here, maybe for the hero, it's not a bad idea to actually have one more light here. This light lead the particle system. So let me go to the side view, duplicate this light. So Shift D. Let's go right about here to lit our hero. All right, power is too much. Maybe it is selected. Yeah. Let's go 5. Nice. So we're going in the frame at maybe, let's start maybe 150. So for this one, I'm gonna use the hero as an example. So this applies to everything we do, every render. So let's check. We're using cycle GPU support, and I'm going to keep it on 100 for particle system because it's not that important, but maybe 200 for the hero. So 200 for hero. Denoise is enabled. So light pad is set to full global illumination. This setting right here, this preset, 32 everything. I know it's a little bit kind of overkill, but I like this. And nothing else except for here transparent in the film section enabled because we wanted to background to be transparent. Remember, we kind of wanted to sandwich this up to 3 plates. So the back plate is particle system. The second plate is the fluid simulation. The closest plate to the camera is the hero. So nothing else except for color management set to Kronos PBR natural and medium high contrast right there. So in the output, this is particle rendering. Let's go change it to actually render a test. So let's go make another folder. Hero rendering. Yeah. All right. Accept. And PNG. And let's see. Frame 150 to frame, let's say 350. Right. 24 frame per second and 100% of this resolution, 1920 by 1080. All right, one more thing is to activate the Z and vector right here, and inside the compositor, as you might remember in this file, we have this setup, nothing fancy. We have a vector blur right here, image to image, depth to Z, vector to speed, and I decrease this because it's obviously way too much. So a sample of 128, 0.1 for speed. That's our motion blur. So we don't have motion blur enabled right here. We're using vector motion blur because of the fluid sim. We can't use motion blur. So because of that, I'm using this for everything. All right. So each frame we are rendering, it's going pass through this vector blur, then save. So it's rendering, denoising, then compositor active, and then right on your hard disk. All right, this is our hero rendering. So 150 to 350. Same thing with the particle system. Particle system, let me see. Particle system going from 0 to whatever you want. Let's say 350. So 0 to 350. So you only need to go ahead and in the output change this particle format with the same blur right here and save it to another folder. And that applies to the particle or fluid system too. So I'm going to render everything and go back with you. And we're going to make, let's say, the label next. So that's a fun one. I have some resources to make the label inside the video sequencer right here. And then save that as a video and also project it on the actual label on bottle. All right, I landed on some settings. Let me quickly take you to a tour. So for the domain right here, this is the setting 150, 0.52 times scale, and everything is the same except for let's see, diffusion. I set that to be a water, I believe. So this is the number right here, this setting. And up factor of 4 for the mesh. And change the flow animation. So grab it right here. So I move the keyframe to be started or ended at frame 30. So it's gonna end right here. And this is the look. All right. And also render that out. So let me go ahead quickly and find it. So this is the result. Like so. And the milk, it's exactly the same. Maybe, yeah, I changed the domain time scale to 0.6 for the milk. And also move the flow animation to be 5 frame before the milkshake. So looks the same with different material. We're gonna mirror that in the editor. All right, that's that. So let's go for the next scene.